Oh, hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Jordan, or some of you guys call me Bebop because that's my camp name. How's it going? It's good to see you guys again. Oh, I've actually got a really cool surprise for you today. Got another story for you from Cottonwood Trails. So I hope you're ready for a story. Maybe grab some popcorn, or if it's first thing in the morning, you might need some breakfast or something like that. But just make sure that you listen up because we've got a really cool story today about Morton the Badger. Now, you guys know Morton the Badger. He's a bit of a goofball sometimes, and he's not too bright. But today, Morton's going to learn a very valuable lesson that I think a lot of you guys might be able to relate to. I know I can. So, let's begin our story from Cottonwood Trails, our tale from Cottonwood Trails. And our tale today begins actually in the middle of the night. And Rob is sleeping soundly in his bed, and the whole forest is quiet. And the only thing that's awake at this time of night is the nocturnal animals, or the animals that are awake during the night. There's no sound when all of a sudden this very loud, shrill sound pierces the air, and it sounded something like this. Well, Rob woke up with a start. What in the world is that? It was a noise he'd never heard before. And Rob rushed down his staircase out of his treehouse, and he ran right into the middle of the clearing, and he waited to hear the noise again. And there it was. And he saw Oz the squirrel and Matilda the porcupine and Frank the bear all running out of their homes too. And they all looked at Morton's house, because that seemed to be where the noise was coming from. And they all rushed over to Morton's house, and Matilda the porcupine did not seem happy. What is that boy yelling again? I can't believe it. It is the middle of the night. I need to get my beauty rest. You think that this face just stays like this without beauty rest? Come on, boys. I need my rest. I know, Matilda. I know. We got to figure out what's going on. Maybe Morton's in trouble. Well, they opened up the door, and Morton was inside, lying in his bed, and he was tossing and turning, and he looked like he was having a pretty bad nightmare. And all of a sudden, Morton yelled out the noise again. Well, Oz the squirrel ran over to Morton's bed, and Oz tried to wake him up. Come on, Morton, wake up. What's the matter, buddy? Wake up, wake up. And he couldn't push him hard enough. Come on, Frank, get on over here. So Frank came over. Yeah. Hey, Morton. And he pushed him with one big heavy paw, and Morton popped awake. What's going on? Get it away from me! Get it away from me! I can't. Hey, wait a second. Where'd it go? Where did what go, Morton? What's the matter? Oh, you would not believe this. Okay, so I was in the middle of the forest. Okay. And I looked up, and in the sky, there was this really big, scary-looking cloud. Scary-looking cloud? Yeah, it had these scary-looking eyes. It was real mean, and he was looking at me, and I could just tell that it was one of those lightning clouds, and he wanted to shoot lightning at me. So I ran away as fast as I could, which is pretty fast, in case you guys didn't know. What? You are slower than me, and I am an old porcupine. Let's have a race tomorrow then. But the point is, it was trying to get me, and I ran away, and it looked like there was lightning coming, and I was really scared, and I looked back, and the cloud came up closer and closer, and it was this big, dark cloud with these big, scary eyebrows, and it was just about to zap me, and then you guys woke me up, so thanks so much for doing that, but there was one scary nightmare. Well, I'm glad you realized it was just a nightmare, Morton. That wasn't actually happening. It was just in your head. But nightmares can be very scary sometimes. Yeah, you're telling me? Oh my goodness, I don't ever want to have that nightmare again. But I gotta go back to sleep, and I just know if I go back to sleep, that I'm gonna have that nightmare again. And maybe this time the cloud's gonna actually get me. Morton, it's okay, buddy. You're gonna be okay. Just go back to sleep. Hopefully you don't have any more nightmares. But we all gotta go back to sleep, Morton. In the morning, we'll talk more about it. Oh, Rob, but I'm so scared. You'll be okay, buddy. And with that, Morton, Oz, Frank, and Matilda all left, and Morton stayed there in the dark by himself. Oh, no. That lightning cloud's gonna come back. Well, unfortunately, Morton was right. Throughout the rest of that night, he had the same nightmare. And every time he woke up, he was yelling and so afraid, and he'd go back to sleep and the same thing would happen. Well, the next day, Rob and all the animals woke up, and Morton had these big bags under his eyes because he didn't sleep very well that night. And Rob came over to Morton and he goes, "Morton, I heard you yelling again. Are you okay?" He didn't have a great sleep, eh? And Morton goes, "No! Every time that cloud was just about to get me, I'd wake up, but then I'd go back to sleep and it'd be like the same thing over again. Oh, it was so scary, Rob." I know, Morton, that's not fun. I used to have nightmares too when I was little. I used to be kind of afraid of the dark. "Yeah, I don't really like the dark either. I just, like, can't really see too well, and usually I got really great eyesight in the daytime. But not at night. I don't like it at all." I know, Morton, but you know what? It'll be okay today. Hey, that actually makes me think of something that I wanted to do with you guys today. So he gathered the animals around, and he goes, "Okay, I got a great idea for us today. We don't have to if you don't want, but I thought it'd be really fun if we went to the berry patch and picked some berries." And the animals all seemed like they were kind of, like that sounded like a pretty good idea. And then Morton goes, "Well, wait a second, Rob. The berry patch is all the way on the other side of the forest." "Well, yeah, it's pretty far away, but, we can make it over there and grab some berries and come back. It'll be a fun day trip." "Yeah, but what if when we get over there, it's all dark?" "Well, it won't be dark, Morton. It's still going to be daytime. We don't have to worry about that. Why are you worried about that?" "Well, if it's dark, then I can't see anything. What if that cloud comes back and is trying to zap me again with lightning?" "Rob!" "Morton, buddy, no. You don't have to come if you don't want. You can just stay here. I mean, I can guarantee it's not going to be dark over there, but..." "Can you? Can you guarantee that, Rob? Because I don't think that you can see the other side of the forest from here. For all we know, it's pitch black over there." "Well, that doesn't really make sense, Morton, but if you want to stay here, you can. I don't want to force you to come, but I think the rest of us are going to go." "Yeah, but then I'm going to be here alone." "Well, I got something for you, Morton. After I left last night, I was thinking about the fact that you were, afraid, and I was thinking about some really great Bible verses that I have for you." And so Rob pulled out his Bible, and he very quickly turned to the book of Psalms. Psalms is a pretty cool book. It's got all kinds of poems and songs and thoughts from, a lot of them are from King David, like the guy, like David and Goliath, the guy who fought the giant after, when he'd become king. A lot of them are his, but there's also some psalms, some songs and stuff from other people. But this one is a Psalm of David. King David, he speaks a little bit about fear. In Psalm chapter 34, and Rob made sure Morton was listening. And he looked at Morton and he says, "Okay, I got 2 verses for you from the book of Psalms here." Psalm 34, verse 4 says, "I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears." So remember that, Morton. And verse 7, "For the angel of the Lord is a guard. He surrounds and defends all who fear him." So one, if you're afraid of the dark, or if you're afraid of anything, you can pray to God, and it says right there that he'll answer you and he'll free you from all your fears. You won't have to be afraid. You can trust that God will be with you. And in verse 7, "For the angel of the Lord is a guard." So when you're afraid, you can go, "Oh boy, I don't know, this is going to be really scary. I don't know what's going to happen." You can remember that God has angels that are like guards surrounding you. And you don't have to worry. You don't have to be afraid. You can imagine that there's this guard protecting you from anything, and it's straight from God. It says he surrounds and defends all who fear him, or all who respect him, all who love God. So, those are the 2 verses I have for you, Morton. Does that make sense? "No, please explain to me what you mean by this, because really all I heard was something about angels, and I'm thinking about angels, and I'm like, angels and clouds sometimes go hand in hand." And then I started thinking about the cloud again more. You're just making things worse for me, Rob. "No, Kate, you don't have to worry. The point is, Morton, what the verses say is that if you're afraid, you can pray to God and he'll help you. And not only that, but he has angels that are guarding you so that you don't have to worry. You can know that God is there to protect you and to help you through those times when you're afraid. Oh, okay, that makes way more sense. Because I was like, why is Rob just telling me more about clouds and stuff? This is not very good. No, that's what I want you to know. And you know what? I'm going to leave you with my Bible. And any time that you feel afraid when we're gone, you can just look up those two verses. Psalm 34, verse 4 and verse 7. And with that, Rob and the other animals left. And Morton was there, and he felt a lot more confident when he had those verses and when he had Rob's Bible. But he was still a little bit afraid. And Morton sat there against the tree. And he had the Bible open, and he was looking at the verses. And all of a sudden, he started to feel a little bit sleepy. He hadn't slept very well that night, remember? So he was a little bit sleepy, and he started to doze a little bit. Whoa, that was close. The cloud was getting close, I could tell. Okay. Just gotta look at those verses again. And then just look at those verses. He started to doze off again. Whoa, okay. No, just look at those verses. Well, one of the times when Morton started to doze off, he was starting to imagine the cloud getting closer and closer. There it is! Oh no, the cloud! And he woke up, and very quickly, he smacked the Bible off of his lap accidentally. As he woke up and his arm flew up, and the Bible fell off of his lap and flew over onto the ground, slid across the ground right into this big cave. So it wasn't a big entrance to the cave. It was just a little hole, but it led into this cave. And Morton was horrified. What have I done? That's Rob's Bible. It's like the most precious thing to him. Oh no, he's going to be so mad at me. Oh boy, what am I going to do? I can't just go in and get it. It's really dark in there. Oh no, and if it's really dark, that means that the cloud's probably going to come back because he always comes when it's dark. The cloud always strikes in the darkness. Oh no. Well, Morton was distraught. He didn't know what he was going to do. He had lost Rob's Bible, and Rob was going to be so upset with him, and he couldn't go get it because it was dark and scary, and Morton had no idea what was down there. Well, as Morton thought more about it, he realized that he had to go and get that Bible. He had to. It was Rob's Bible, and Rob had left him in charge of it, and he had to face his fears. Well, Morton started thinking about those verses that Rob had given him. Okay. If I pray to God, he'll help me. And also, he's got angels that are there to guard me and protect me. Okay. And with that, he prayed to God that God would help him, free him from his fears, and that God would send his angels to protect him. Well, Morton was still very scared, but he was remembering those verses. He was remembering that God was with him, and he went down into the hole, and he couldn't see anything. And he was searching around for the Bible, and he can't see a thing, and his hands are reaching out, and all of a sudden, his hand lands on something slimy and gross. Whoa, what is that? Oh boy. Okay, I'm afraid. Oh, but I just gotta remember that God is with me. He will protect me. Oh, and his angel is with me. Okay, here we go. And every time that he thought about those verses, he would feel a little bit better, and he'd remember that God is with him and God will protect him. And you know what? Morton found the Bible. He grabbed the Bible, and as soon as he had it, he felt so much better, and he turned around and he went right back out. And pretty soon, Rob and the other animals, they came back from the berry picking, and Morton was so excited to tell Rob what had happened. You know, those verses you gave me, they really helped me, Rob. I was able to go down there, and I was able to get the Bible. And wait, the Bible? The Bible fell? Oh, yeah, it was gone. I thought it was gone for sure. You almost lost my Bible? Oh, Morton. Well, from that day on, Morton was still afraid of the dark. His fear of the dark didn't go away, but what he did have now was a way to cope with it, and a way to remember that God is with him even when he's afraid, especially when he's afraid, and God has angels that are protecting him. And so Morton, even though he would have nightmares and he would still get afraid, he would remember that God is with him. And you know what? God is with you guys too. And if you guys call out to God, he will be there to protect you. He will be there to help you. And you might still be afraid, but you can remember that God will be with you through those difficult times, those scary times. And maybe this is a really scary time right now with the coronavirus, and we don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a little bit scary. But we can remember that God is with us, and He'll protect us, and He'll help us. And it doesn't mean everything will go our way all the time, but we can know that He'll help us through every challenge that comes our way. So hopefully you guys can remember that, and you can remember that God is with us. All right. I hope the story was really good. Stay tuned for another story soon.